this is how the environment looks like. Let's get into the demo. So this is all the HTTP load balancers that we are created. From here, you can deep dive into the connectivity between all the sites. For example, in here, I have H3 and H4. From here, we can see that H4 and H3 have a connectivity between the AWS CE1, AWS CE2, and Azure CE1. This is coincide with the connectivity traffics here. So from here, we can actually deep dive into each of these line to see what exactly happening and what kind of traffics are and the health of the traffic as well. So from the health, you can tell what's the upstream throughput, what's the error rate. In this case, there's no error, request rate, as well as the client's round trip time and the server round trip time. So if you want to look into the details of the application, for example, if I go to if I do a refresh, you can see that this to show that where is the specific applications that I'm connecting to, like for example, the front end demo apps. This is the applications I'm using to do the demo. If I jump on into another sample application that I had, let's say this Hipster X, and if I look into the application, this is the service graph, a rich service graph that you can see. Then you can identify if there's any issues, and it will show you the connectivity between the services with the other service. For example, in this case, I have a load generator. This load generator is creating some the application health is 92.9%. I can click here and deep dive into what's exactly is happening. For example, here there's an error. There's a error into the connections. If I look into the health showed me that I have potentially about 0.3 per second type of error rate. So if I want to find out what exactly are those errors, what I can do is that I can look into the request log. If I go to the request log, from the request log, you can see that there's a lot of 200. I can filter out the 200 as well. If I remove the 200, I can see that there's a 302. You can deep dive into the error on this 302. Why it's got 302? It's created by the this instance load generator 302. Or if I want to eliminate 302, I want to see all the 500, or in fact just only 500. This will filter out all the 500's error, like for example card. What it showed me that there's a card, there's an error, Y upstream 500 error response code. This is one of the way that you can actually simplify your operation by easily deep dive into the environment, into the logs to see what exactly is happening to the traffics. Or I can go to the app traffics and I want to see the connectivity between your site. For example, in this case, I'm actually connecting from the internet to the New York RE. What happens is that my application for these applications are deployed in the RE for the Asia Pacific RE, which is in Singapore and Tokyo and Osaka. So these applications actually have two-way communication with one of the work stack located in Australia, and this work stack is actually on-prem, and this work stack number 4 is actually communicating with work stack number 2, which is the payment server. So from here you can see that you have a richness of the telemetry and informations to look into the details of the connections. If you want to deep dive into more on a particular service, for example, I can click on the front end Hipster service. I can explore the service, and from the explore of the service you can see each detailed communications, which directional or bidirectional, and if you click on you can deep dive into tracing. You trace all the connectivity that's happening. This is the application traffic connectivity. Within the work mesh, you can enable the application firewall as well as the network firewall. For example, if I want, there's a telemetry on. If I go to site security, this is a site security that you can see from the firewall dashboard on all the information that traverses this. as well as the firewall logs. If I want to filter out all the allows and only show deny, for the last 1 hour there's no deny, majority of them is allowed. If let's say past 6 hours, yeah, I have some of the deny connections into this environment. The other information that you can see from a map view, a sitemap view, is all the resources that you're currently managing. For example, here I can see from this view there's a lot of sites. Some of the sites are healthy and some of the sites are not. Like for example, in here there's all the sites are healthy. So from a single view you are able to see which sites are not healthy. As for the application, there's a dashboard that you can look at as well. Like for example, if I go to this dashboard for the HTTP, if I go to the HTTP load balancer, I can go to the dashboard. This dashboard also give you another view on how your applications are behaving. And if I last 1 hour, it gives you a lot of information. Or if you want to know the security monitoring, let's say if I last 12 hours, yeah, so for the last 12 hours you can see that there's a different type of attacks happening on this hipster apps. Or you can deep dive into the security event as well, where those events are coming from, and the details of the country where it is coming from, what is the parameters that trigger this, and etc. So from this telemetry, visibility, and the observability, this provides operational efficiency for organizations.